Hi everyone, welcome back to part 4 of the Book One Cozies Club chapter by chapter for Mrs. Claus and the Santaland Slayings, the first book in the Mrs. Claus series by Liz Ireland. I'm Di and this is my audio-only reading vlog for this book. Today I will be reading chapters 13 through 16 and sharing my thoughts with you along the way. Due to the nature of this reading vlog, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't read these chapters yet, I suggest that you not listen to this recording until you have. If you would prefer to hear my general thoughts on this book in its entirety, keep an eye out for my Book One Cozies Club Series First Impressions video, which will be posted sometime after the reading vlogs for this book have commenced. So how is everybody doing this evening? I am doing well. Today I finished the knitted hats I was making for my nieces, so I just had to finish up the second hat because I do have two nieces, and so I finished up the second hat today. They are both getting matching hats, Stormtrooper beanies. I used a free pattern off of Ravelry, and yeah, if you want to hear more about that project, definitely check out my Yarny update for November that went up on my Yarny channel. The link to my Yarny channel is always down in the description box below. So if you're ever interested in knowing what I've knitted on in a month, because I do monthly wrap-up type videos, so I call them my Yarny updates, and it's just basically what I've knit on in the month, the projects that I completed, and maybe any like acquisitions, or I guess you would equate that to a haul on the like booktube, mangatube side. But yeah, finished the Stormtrooper hats, and so they are ready to go out in the mail. I did end up working overtime tonight. Hopefully next week I won't have to work as much overtime. I do tend to work over every day, but not to the extent that I did this week, trying to catch up after being on vacation for 2 weeks. Kind of a double-edged sword going on vacation, because you go on vacation to get your stress level down. Well, at least I go on vacation to get my stress level down, to relax and not have to think about work items. And yeah, except when you go back after being off for 2 weeks and you've got 10,000 things that you need to do, that just makes my stress level go right back up to where it was before I went on vacation. So, yeah, I enjoy going on vacation. I don't like going back after being on vacation, because there are just so many things that should have been taken care of by others that is never taken care of. And it's just like, why? So, yeah. Anyway, enough of my rambling on going on vacation and the ramifications of doing that. Yeah, so hopefully I'm in a better place now where I won't have to be putting in as many overtime hours next week. But I am ready to get into this book again. I am looking forward to finding out even more information. But again, like yesterday, I'm not looking forward to any more interaction with the Claus family. It's a little disheartening that this kind of myth about Santa Claus being so jolly and nice and, things like that has kind of been twisted in this book. Like, the Dowager Mrs. Claus is kind of my way or the highway, and then Nick isn't really acting like a great husband or guy or person at that. I mean, can he really be that dense to Teresa's actions? I don't know. And if he is, shame on him. Like, really open your eyes. But anyway, yeah, I guess I was expecting that because we were dealing with Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus, we'd have that jolly old St. Nicholas vibe. Obviously not old, but caring, loving, happy. But that's definitely not what we're getting here. And then there's kind of this dark backstory with their family, which that I'm not minding. It's definitely an interesting twist to have that history, but not having the loving, caring, kind of stereotypical Santa, kind of a downer for me. But I am, like I said, still enjoying being in this world. I'm enjoying this kind of light investigating April is doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing what other things she uncovers in these next chapters. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I want to chat about for now. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into chapter 13 right now, and I will be back with you in a bit. So I just finished chapter 16. Kind of interesting things happening here. I think in this last chapter is the most civil, is that the right word, civil, that I've seen Pamela act towards April. Most every other time we see Pamela, she's saying something condescending towards April, and in this last chapter, I feel like she was just trying to have a conversation with her and, trying to teach her how to make this elegant art piece of a dessert. She even cracked a little joke at the end of their day together, and so that was a nice surprise. Therese, on the other hand, oh my goodness. At least Nick is acting more like I have been wanting to see him act up until this point in the book. But again, he acts concerned, he's worried about April, but then he's like, well, I'll do this if you stop your investigation. It's like, here he is again. Like, this whole thing with Therese has nothing to do with April's investigation. I just don't understand why he just suddenly jumped to that. But in any case, it's pretty obvious that April's not going to be holding up her end of the bargain there, because otherwise there would be no story, right? There would be no story. The series wouldn't be the Mrs. Claus series. So yeah. Again, though, I kind of felt like chapter 16 was really long. I guess maybe I've just been spoiled in the last few books that we've read for chapter by chapters, where the chapters were shorter chapters. But yeah, the first few chapters felt shorter, but this last chapter was pretty long. But there's been a lot of information which I thought was interesting. I'm still not sure where they're going with the whole piecing together of what happened to Chris. And I don't know, now this thing with Lucia from their past, it's like they're pulling pieces from the past, and yet the main murder, that's the one that's listed on the summary in the back of the book, really isn't the one that they're looking into at the moment. I kind of feel like the focus is definitely more on Chris, and that whole story that April heard about what happened to Chris, it definitely has a fishy feel to it. I just hope that by the end of this book we have that whole thing pieced together, because they're focusing on it so much. But at the same time, nobody wants to talk about it. The eyewitnesses are all staying quiet. I don't know. I do think that with all of the focus that's being placed on what happened back then and trying to figure out exactly what happened that day, that we should be getting more answers to that. Now, as for if it's connected to what happened to Giblet, that's another question. But I still thought that things that happened in these chapters were interesting. And like I said, I enjoyed that we saw Pamela being more civilized towards April. I'm glad that Nick actually showed some concern in these chapters, not only in what happened at the end of chapter 16, but earlier when they found all of the misfit toys in the castle. I mean, he was laughing at her a little bit, and that's definitely understandable, but I do wonder what happened with that situation as well. Like, was she hearing things? Was it a toy that was malfunctioning? Or was somebody trying to lure her someplace? And I mean, obviously, the castle is large. I mean, they wouldn't call it a castle if it wasn't, right? A couple interesting tidbits, too, on the succession of the Santa title, I guess is what you'd call it. That we find out from Tiffany. Yeah, I'm not too impressed with her either, even though I know she's grieving. She still acts very standoffish. Like, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy April's interactions with her in these chapters. It almost seemed like Tiffany was very self-centered and kind of not the same person that we met in yesterday's chapters. These chapters are more like about her and her past and what she kind of gave up and what she lost. Maybe there's something else there, since we are focusing on what happened to Chris. But yeah, I still feel like we're going on a long and winding road, and I have no idea where this is headed, which is a good thing. Like, I'm still not concerning myself with, oh, could this person be the killer? Or, my brain is not putting together a conclusion or a possible suspect list or anything like that. I'm just enjoying the journey. And like I said yesterday, it's not something that I am able to do often with cozies because I read so many of them. And with this one, I feel like I don't know where we're going. I have no idea. I can only guess, and even while I'm reading, I'm not actively guessing. I'm not actively thinking about where this could go. I do think about it a little bit when I'm talking to you in these recordings, but I'm not thinking about it when I'm reading. And oftentimes when I read these cozies, not even only for the chapter by chapters, but cozy mysteries in general, it's almost like I see the end, and it's just me waiting to get to that finish line and see if I was right. And most of the time I am. But it's very rare that I have an experience like this where I'm reading the book and not even thinking about, okay, this person is probably a suspect, this is probably what happened, and things like that. So, yeah. I was very surprised with some of the interactions that April had in these chapters. I'm still really interested in all of the things that she's finding out. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's chapters. And that's pretty much all I've got for today. So let me know down in the comments below what you thought of these chapters. What did you think of the things that April got herself into in these chapters? What did you think of what happened with Therese and Tiffany and Pamela? I would really love to know your thoughts. If you have an idea of where you think this is going or have a suspect in mind, definitely let me know that down in the comments as well. Because like I said, I don't even have one at this point in time. And that's very unusual for me. So anyway, don't forget, you could also come and talk to me about this book on the March Mystery Madness Discord or the Mystery Madness Goodreads group. All of the links are down in the description box below. Whichever place you feel most comfortable talking to me on, that would be great, and that will do it for me this evening. So I will be back with you tomorrow for chapters 17 through 20. It'll be our second to the last section of this book, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope you're all having a great evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye!